right, everybody, welcome to the next game in the NBC Game of the Week. And of course, the NBC Game of the Week this week comes from Comiskey Park in Chicago. Back to the American League. It was a game played June the 17th, which was a Saturday in 1978. And it'll be the Royals taking on the White Sox. And I believe this is probably the only time we're going to see the White Sox. I'm sure the Royals will be on there much more than what they have here. Pitching for the White Sox, left-hander Ken Kravick, and right-hander for the Royals is Rich Gale. So you see the benches and the bullpens for both teams. Look at our starting lineups, and we see that we have Patek, McRae, Brett, Cowens, Zed, Porter, White, Hurdle, and Wilson for the Royals. And for the White Sox, Gar, Washington, Orta, Bloomberg, Lemon, Brazil, Naharodny, Kessinger, and Soderholm for the White Sox. We are at Comiskey Park, and the one thing I do with the stadium is I check the temperature. I don't mess with rain or wind in this game of the week. I just keep it simple. Go with temperature. We are in June. Day game in June at Comiskey. 63 is the average temperature. 85 is what you have to get to, or 86 rather, to make a change. So we'll see if any change occurs. And that's a 12. So 12 plus the 63 is only a 74. So the ballpark will not affect deep drives at all. It will be pretty much a standard fare. Hello, Clay. Hey, hello, Captain, Kenyon, and Ben. Good to see all of you. I'm on the East Coast, and we're at the very beginnings of a heat wave. It was nice yesterday. It was about in the mid 80s, low to mid 80s, I guess it was. Probably mid 80s, I guess, but the humidity wasn't bad. But today it's going to be in the upper 80s with humidity. Tomorrow it's going to be mid 90s with humidity. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the regular temperature is going to be 100 with the heat index between 105 and 110. So good day to stay in the air condition, I guess. So we will get this game going without further ado. I do have my two cheat sheets, the quick start guide, and different things like that. Of course, glad Clay is here that can, and Ben or whoever is really good at playing this game is here to help me just in case I stumble on a particular rule where I'm not sure. So Freddie Patek, diminutive Freddie Patek, who on a couple of occasions actually led the league in stolen bases. And this card has an interesting feature on it because I remember seeing Clay put a comment out on the season ticket Facebook site where people were asking about the E numbers on the batting side where you get an error without even checking the fielding chart. And because he's so fast, he's going to cause people, I guess that's what the premise is that he's so fast that the fielders will hurry their play and it'll create an error. I haven't done the research on it. I'm sure Clay has, so we're going to trust Clay that he did that for a purpose and a reason and that it makes sense. So in case you were curious and you see that, that was mentioned in the Facebook post that I read. I read it this morning. I'm not sure when it was posted. I read it this morning. But anyway, just throw that out there. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Chuck, Tabby is not a happy camper right now. If you remember, I imagine most of us that are in this genre remember the term crew cut, where we used to get a crew cut for the summertime. Well, Tabby got her version of a kitty crew cut. And she is not happy about it. I'm sure she's a lot cooler, but she didn't like the process. But I think she's getting over it now. She's kind of down there in a little spot next to me, and but she says no pictures until her hair grows back. So I have to honor that. All right, we're getting ready to go underway. Freddie Patek will lead things off for the Royals against the left-hander Ken Kravick, and the NBC Game of the Week is underway. Get a 440, and that's going to be Patek against a left-handed pitcher, 440, and that is going to be a ground ball to third. So Soderholm takes care of Patek. Good idea to keep him off the bases if you are the White Sox. Here's Hal McRae. He is the DH in this game. 582. Well, the two there in the blue should bode very well for center fielder Chet Lemon. I don't think he'll have any problems with that. In fact, he does not. 580 to 585 is a flyout. So Chet Lemon will take care of that fairly simply. And there are 2 up and 2 down for George Brett. Gave George Brett the thumbnail on this one. See if that gives him any good karma. We shall see. 224 is going to be a redirect to a 424. For Brett, a 424 is going to be a 4-3 ground out. Would have been a double play, but Kravick gets the Royals 1-2-3 in the top of the first. So nothing doing for Kansas City. I probably should have looked it up and saw who won this game real world. I did not do that. I don't know if that really matters, just for curiosity's sake. But obviously the Royals were the AL West champions and the White Sox weren't. So the Royals obviously the better team. All right, so Rich Gale. No relation to Crystal, I don't think. And he's going to be facing Ralph Garr to lead things off, former Atlanta Brave. That's a 213, and that's against Garr, the lefty. And that's a redirect to a 413. 413 is a 3, we'll call it 3-1 ground out since nobody's on base. As Gale flips to the first baseman, Clint Hurdle, for out number 1. Here's Claudell Washington. 470 for Washington against a right-hander. 470 is a 4-3 ground out. And there's 2 away. So 2 up, 2 down for George Orta. That's a 226, and that's again another redirect to 426. 426 is a pop out to third base, and that will end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down go the Sox. We played 1, and there's been no score here at Comiskey. Of course, yes, Gale, different spelling, but still, phonetically, that's what I was going by. It just make its brown eyes blue. It's sad that I know that. I know that's telling on what I went through in my youth, being forced to listen to that music. But, oh well, what are you going to do? Here's Al Cowens, 345, and that's non-split, and that's going to be an infield single for Al Cowens. And the one thing I forgot to do, I always forget something. Just the way it goes. It seems like no matter what, how much I try to prepare, I was getting Tabby straightened out too, so that kind of, with her haircut, so that kind of pushed me back a little bit. So I was kind of rushing to get this thing on time. And of course, when I did that, I forgot to bring out the base runners. I have them printed, I just didn't have them ready to go. So let me do that right now. It won't take long. I have them printed, just didn't have them cut out. So that way at least you have a little bit of something going on so you know who's where. So there, now we have somebody at first base. And that somebody is Al Cowens. He is at first base. Lead off single. First hit of the game for either team. Cowens stole 14 bases, was caught 6 times. Don't know if he wants to try to get a lead and do something or just leave it alone. We shall see how that plays out. How aggressive do we want to be is the question. Hello, Robert. All right, so Cowens, his steal is a 3. The hold on Kravick is a 2. His speed is a 4. The catcher arm, Naharodny, is a 4. So I can see either way on that. We're going to try to get the lead. What the heck? So to get the lead, you take these 2 dice, you add them to the steal rating of the batter, which is a 3. So it becomes a, whatever these 2 dice are plus the 3 has to be more than 10 plus the whole. So in this case, it has to be equal to or greater than 12. All right, so we basically need 9 on these 2 dice need to add up to 9 or higher. And they do not, so he cannot get the lead. So it makes it a moot point trying to steal because he couldn't get the lead. All right, so we move on to Joe Zed. I guess that's how it's pronounced. Zed, Z-D-E-B. Zeb. Maybe the D is silent. I don't know. He's in there specifically because he's better against lefties than he is against righties in theory, although his card is showing better against righties. So I don't know what the actual numbers are, but that's why they played him, because in theory he was better against lefties. And he would, I think he was platooning with either Tom Poquette or Pete Lecoq in left field. So Kravick to Zed, 545. That's interesting. Second baseman Orta, that might give him trouble. We shall see. 545 is going to be a base hit to right field. Base hit to right field. Now, can the runner get to third base on that single to right field? I'm assuming he can challenge because right field was listed in the result. Single to right field on Orta was listed. Even though it's a fielding check, I'm assuming I can still challenge to throw to third base if I so desire. It's not mandatory, but I'm assuming I can do that. Right fielder's arm is Claudell Washington. Claudell Washington's arm is a 4. The speed of the runner, Cowens, is a 4 also. So 4 to 4. And I don't see anything about going from first to third, adding extra, points on that because it's a throw from first to right field to third base. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything to that. So we're just going to roll it. All 3 dice have total equal to or less than 10 plus the arm. So the 4 speed we have to roll these 3 dice, have to total 10 or higher for him to make it. And they don't make it. Look at that, 200. He is out at third base. So much for that. Boy, Claudell Washington gunned him down. The Dolly Parton style, 9-5. First out of the inning. He's got a real bad break there. Thank you, Clay, for that clarification. Hello, Midlife. Good to see you. Hello, Doug. All right, so 1 away now with Zeb at first base. He's not going anywhere. He did steal 3 bases, but that was it. His steal rate's a 0, so I'm not going to mess with that. We're going to leave it up to Darryl Porter. 664. 664 is a 3-1 putout. So that will send the runner to second base. Kravick throws to Brazil. Brazil throws to Kravick covering at first base for out number 2. Zed does go to second. And now with 2 outs, runner in scoring position for Frank White. 160, and that's a walk. So Kravick will walk Frank White, put 2 on, 2 out, and flip it over to Clint Hurdle in a clutch situation. 683. 683 is a single plus, so that's going to score the run and it's going to put the runner on first to third base. So RBI single off the bat of Clint Hurdle. How about that? Royals take a 1-0 lead. Scoring is Zed. White goes to third. So 2 down, runners are now at the corners for Willie Wilson, a very young Willie Wilson. I believe this was his rookie year. Maybe 77, I'm not sure. It might have come at the end of 77. I think it was the last full year anyway. Hello, Rock. Good to see you. From Florida. Kravick to Wilson, 425. Wilson against the lefty on a 425 is a deep fly to center field that would have scored the run on a sac fly, but not in this case. There were already 2 outs. So Kansas City does get on the board thanks to the RBI single off the bat of Clint Hurdle. And we go to the bottom of the second. It's Kansas City 1 and Chicago 0. Gale back out. He'll be facing Bloomberg. Designated hitter Bloomberg, followed by Lemon and Brazil. 686, but the home team batting makes it 696. 696 is going to be a walk. So a leadoff walk. And that'll put the first Chicago runner on base. Leadoff walk to Bloomberg. He's no threat to steal at all. He didn't steal any bases, didn't get caught. He didn't even have any attempts. Here's Chet Lemon. 680, that makes it 690. And 690 is a single plus. That's going to put Bloomberg to third. Chet Lemon with a single, and all of a sudden the Sox are in business. First and third, nobody out. Runners at the corners and nobody out. First hit of the game for Chicago, and it belongs to Chet Lemon. Lemon stole 5 bases, but got caught 9 times. And with runners on the corners and nobody out, they don't want to run themselves out of an inning. So they will just hold him there. And Jim Brazil, this is a PDF player because he only had 72 at bats, so he was not carded in the original set. But this is a PDF. So Brazil stepping to the plate, the infield. The infield is back to the double play. 258 against a left-handed swinger. 258 is a single plus, so that's going to put the runners at first and second. The run will score, and we got a tie ball game. Run on first cannot go to third unless you get a plus. So it's RBI single from Brazil. Lemon will stop at second. Scoring on the play is Bloomberg, and we are tied at a run apiece for catcher Bill Maharodny. 335, and that's a non-split, and that's a 5-4 fielder's choice. So the runner on first is out, but going to third on the fielder's choice will be Chet Lemon. Brazil is out, 5-4, and Maharodny is the runner at first. So runners on the corners, 1 out. And Don Kessinger, the batter, infield still looking for that all-important double play. He's got a couple double plays on his card. In fact, 3 of them standing right out there. Plus, there's some double plays on Gale's card. 420, split chance against a righty. 420 is a 4-6-3 double play, just what we were talking about. So it's a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Sox get 1. Could have been worse. But Gale gets that double play ball to get out of the mess. So we play 2. Nothing's been decided. We're tied at 1 apiece. Kravick will be facing the top of the order. Patek, McRae, and Brett. 1-1 ball game. Hope you're having a nice Saturday wherever you are. Hopefully it's not too hot for you. Here's Patek, 161, and that's going to be a leadoff walk. Not what you want to do, especially with Patek. He can steal. So Patek looking to get the lead. His steal number is a 5. Hold is only a 2, so he basically just needs 7 on these 2 dice at the 7 or more. And they do. So he will get the lead. Now to steal. Show it again on the chart. We just got the lead up here. To steal, it's these 3 dice plus the speed of the runner plus 10 plus the arm of the catcher, which is 4. We already seen that Maharodny is a 4. So it has to be greater than or equal to 14. And the speed rating on Patek is a 5. So 5 plus these 3 dice have to be 14 or higher. And they are. That's a 12 plus the 5 makes it a 17. So it's successful stolen base for Freddie Patek. And he stole 38 of those in the 78 season. So Patek is aboard at second base. He is the go-ahead run. And Hal McRae. 152, and that's going to be a strikeout. First strikeout of the game for Kravick. First strikeout for either pitcher, actually. One away. Big strikeout to get there, and here's George Brett. Lefty on lefty matchup. 436 for Brett against the lefty. 436 is a 4-3 ground out, so that will move Patek to third. Now there are 2 outs, and it's going to be all up to Al Cowens to drive home the go-ahead run. Hello, Brian B. In case I forgot, I can't remember if I said hello to you or not. Hello again. 469. 469 against the lefty is going to be a deep fly to center field. He just missed the deep drive by a few numbers, but that's going to end the inning as center fielder Chet Lemon puts it away. Royals leave Patek at third base. Go to the bottom of the third, still tied at 1. Hopefully we get a close game today. Last couple games I think have been kind of blowouts, so I'm hoping for a closer game. And again, these two teams have very similar coloring, so not a whole lot of difference in the cards as far as colors go. So they're not going to be too distinct like they would be if they were teams with much, much different colors. But still, the coloring is nice. Not going to deny that whatsoever. Here's Soderholm. 672 becomes 682. And 682 was a single for Soderholm. So Eric Soderholm gets himself a leadoff single. Number 9 man of the order. He comes through with a base hit. Soderholm not much of a threat to run. He will not go anywhere. Top of the order for Ralph Garr. Abby is resting quietly after her. She calls it getting waterboarded, but there's no water involved. It's just clippers. 382 non-split is a 3-6 double play. Boy, a bad break there for Garr. 3-6 double play. I'm assuming that means 3-6-3 double play. Clay, you can, or is this one where, I guess it's a 3-3-6 double. I'm not sure how you would do that officially on the score sheet. It says 3-6 double play, but usually it's 3-6-3 double play, unless he steps on the bag first and then throws down there, and he gets double play that way. That's a 3-3. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so he stepped on the bag before he threw to second base. So it's a Garr is out 3 unassisted, and then Soderholm is out 3-6 on the double to complete the double play. There we go. Got it. So 2 down, base is clear. Either way, it's a double play no matter which way you look at it, which is what counts. 446 split against the righty. 446 is a double to right field. Boy, how big was that double play now? A double from Claudell Washington, but the bases were cleared on that double play, and that at least temporarily saves Kansas City a run. That double would have scored the base runner almost certainly from second anyway, but probably from first as well. Or at worst case, it would have been second and third with only 1 out. So anyway, now 2 down, and George Orta. He popped the third his first time up. 657 becomes 667, and a 667 is a 1-3 ground out. So Gale will throw to Hurdle at first base to end the inning, and Kansas City escapes the damage. And at the end of 3, it's still 1-1. That's why they call it the double play the pitcher's best friend, I guess. It certainly helped Rich Gale. Top of the 4th, and Joe Zed. .663 for Zed, and that's going to be a 3-1 ground out. So again, first baseman Brazil flips to Craven covering, and there's 1 away. Here's Darryl Porter, catcher. 246, and against a lefty, 246 is a fly to center field. That is out number 2 for Frank White. .133 is a redirect to a .333, and that's going to be a fly to right field to end the inning. Nothing doing for Kansas City. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-1. Cap, you say this game the White Sox won at 6-1. Thank you for that. I should have. Normally I look that up ahead of time. Like I said, I've had a lot of stuff going on this morning, trying to get things done before coming up here, and making sure Tabby was straight was definitely one of them. And so, forget certain little things that you would normally do when you have more time. But thank you for checking it out for me. Yeah, Tabby is resting quietly, so I'm very happy about that. Not going to disturb her. All right, here is Bloomberg. 465 against a right-hander is going to be a double. How about that? 460 to 467 is a double. So Bloomberg leads off with the double. How about that? Lead off double for Bloomberg. Gale's not exactly fooling him out there. And here's Chet Lemon. Gale, 388, non-split, is going to be a single plus, and that will score the run. The plus is enough to get him home from second base, and the White Sox lead it 2-1. RBI single from Chet Lemon. Wonder how long Whitey Herzog will go with Rich Gale. 450 is the righty. 450 is a line drive to second base. Runner on first, I believe. Does that mean he's doubled off? Is this R1 exclamation points? I'm assuming that means he's doubled off. L4 with an R1 question mark. I interpret that to mean doubled off. Look at my cheat sheet now, see if I can find anything, but I believe that's a doubled off. It is doubled off. Okay, that's what I thought. So he is doubled off on the line drive to second base. So Lemon of Brazil is out L4 to Frank White, and then White over to Hurdle for the 4-3 double play to double up Mr. Lemon. So the ball was just hit way too hard. Lemon had no chance to get back. It is a double play, line drive double play. 2 outs, base is clear, and Naha Rodney is the catcher. All right, here is 602, and 602 comes 612, which is a strikeout. So Naha Rodney out on strikes. And that's the first strikeout for Gale. But the Sox take the lead 2-1 after 4. But Kansas City has turned 3 double plays in this game, which has kept them in the game. They turned double plays in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. So that's what's kept them in there and kept Gale in this game of these double plays, 3 of them. All right, Clint Hurdle will lead things off here in the top of the 5th. Kravick, 499, and that's going to be against Hurdle against a left-hander, is a deep drive on the 499. So its power is a 5. It's a deep drive to right. We're going to add 5 to these 2 dice and see what we get. We get a 9, so it's a total of 14. It's just a deep fly to right field. So Hurdle got into one, but not deep enough. Claudel Washington was there to secure it. And there's one away. And that'll bring up Willie Wilson. .483 against a left-hander. .483 is a fly ball to center field for Wilson. That is out number. That's a long range of numbers there. 425 to 49 is a fly. He must have flown to center quite a bit. So that's a lot of numbers there to hit. Here's Freddie Patek. .537. That's not good. That blue 7 is definitely not good for the White Sox. We go to their first baseman, Jim Brazil. in a 537 is going to be a single to right field. Single to right, 2-out single to right field by Freddie Patek. And he might be looking to get the lead again, try to make something happen for his team. Again, he's a 5 steal, hold is a 2, so get the lead. To be able to get the lead, go back again, look at it again. These 2 dice plus his steal rating have to beat 10 plus the hold of the pitcher, which is a total of 12. So these 2 have to beat 7 to make this 12 or higher. And they are. So he will get the lead. And now it's going to go for the steal. Naharani's arm is a 4. So he has to be equal to or greater than 14. So 5 plus these 3 dice have to total 14 or higher. And they do. That's a no, they don't. That's 13. Oh, yeah, they do. Plus the 5 is 18. So he will steal it. So stolen base for Patek, his second of the game. And he gets into scoring position with 2 outs, which is big. Because now a base hit from McRae can tie the game. .124, redirect to a 324. 324 is a fly to right to end the inning, so nothing doing there for Kansas City. The stolen base for Patek didn't help. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 2-1 Chicago. And I believe Captain said the real game life was 6-1. So maybe we can still get there. I don't know. I prefer a closer game myself, but you never know. Hello, Jeremiah. Good to see you. So Kessinger will lead it off, followed by Soderholm and Gar. 566. That's for Patek. That could be questionable. 566 is going to be a base hit. So a base hit for Don Kessinger. Base hit Kessinger. And Kessinger stole 2 bases, but got caught 4 times. Gale's got a pretty good hold of 5. His steal is only a 1, so we're not going to do anything with that. Here's Soderholm. Soderholm singled, but was erased on a double play first time up. 196, and that's going to be a bloop single to first. So with less than 2 outs, the bloop single means only a 1 base advance. So only a 1 base advance for that. So first and second, nobody out. Royals could use another double play right about now. Steve Mangori, a left-hander, is loosening in the Kansas City bullpen. Just in case, Steve Mangori. He was 1-4 with 7 saves and a 2.74 earned run average, but he is loosening up here because this is the final inning for Gale before you would reach fatigue. Plus, he's getting into trouble, so he may not even make it past this inning. We shall see. He's got to deal with Gar. Washington in order. I'll tell you what, 3 lefties. It's tempting just to bring in Mangori right now. And I think we will. I think they have seen enough of Rich Gale. He's dodged a lot of trouble with 3 double plays, but I think they're going to go ahead and make that move and not take any more chances. So Steve Mangori will be coming on to pitch. First and second, nobody out, but he's got 3 left-handers in a row coming up for the White Sox. So they will be making that move. And Ralph Gar is your batter. He is a 6 bunter, so it's a possibility of going for a bunt if we so choose. If you look at the bunt, we got these 3 numbers plus the bunt rating to see if they want to do anything. Let's see here. I don't know off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've bunted, so bear with me. All right. So I don't think there's any reduction on this for corners in or anything like that. At least I don't see anything. Clay or somebody else can help me out on that. Is there an adjustment where if the defense plays corners in, this gets moved up or down in any way, or is it just a straight out bunt? Because his bunt rating's a 6. Okay, 6 plus these 3 dice. All right, that's a total of 9, so that's a total of 15. 15, he fouls it off. So it says there's 2 strikes on him now. So with 2 strikes on him, right over here, 2 strikes. Let's see, deep drives, you lose 3 on your power rating if you want to go that route to swing away. If you want to bunt again, foul or miss is a strikeout. But you know what? They're going to go again. All right, that's a total of 22, plus his bunt rate of 6, which is a 28. So that's a 3-1 question mark. Lead runner out. So, all right. So is this saying that the first baseman fields it and throws to third for the force? Is that what that's saying? Oh, wait a minute, no. Runners advance. Batter safe if speed is greater than the arm. Okay, so in this little box here, we're checking to see if he beats it out for a base hit. Okay. So his speed is a 3. So these 3 dice plus the 3 have to be greater than 10 plus the arm of the first baseman. First baseman arm is hurdle. First baseman's arm is hurdle. And his arm is a 2. So it has to be greater than equal to 12. So these 3 dice plus his speed have to be greater than equal to 12. He's a 3. So if we get 9 or higher on these 3 dice, he will beat it out. And we do. So it's going to be an infield. The way I read it, it's an infield hit now because these 3 dice beat out the arm plus the 10. So the way I'm looking at it, that's an infield bunt. That's a bunt hit for an infield. Okay, beats it out for a hit and the bases are loaded. So good bunt for Ralph Garr. He was trying to sacrifice, but his bunt was so good he beat it out. And now the bases are loaded. Bases are full of socks. Sock in every drawer. Infield for the Royals is going to play back. They need outs. They will try to turn another double play if they can against Claudel Washington. He's got several BPs on his card, as does Mingori. So the infield is back. They will give up the run to get the double play. For 98, Claudel is a strikeout against the lefties. Good thing you brought the lefty in, huh? Struck him out. Big strikeout there. And now here's George Order. Now a double play gets him out of the inning. George Order, another lefty-on-lefty matchup. 500. And we are in rare play territory with the bases loaded. Rare play, bases loaded. Go to the rare play book. Rare play book. Bases loaded. So I'm thinking, Clay, it says bases loaded here means I go to page 38. Since there are, I'm sorry, with less than 2 outs, runners at first and second. All right, less than 2 outs is 39. With no outs, it'd be 38. So I'm assuming I go to page 39 on this. 39 on the chart. Let's get that going. Page 39 in the book so we can show it. And we'll roll and see what we get. We get a 358. 358 is right here. It says L3 plus E3. Line drive caught by the first baseman, but the throw to double up the runner on second sails into left field. The runner on first advances to second, runner on second to third. And I'm assuming the guy on third is already going to score because this says first and second, but doesn't say now bases loaded. I'm assuming that means the guy on third is going to score on the wild throw. And then the runner on first advances to second. Runner on second advances to third and may try to score by challenging the left fielder's arm. All right, so what we have here is a line drive. Let's reconstruct this from the beginning. We have, with George Orta up, we have a line drive to first baseman Hurdle for out number 2. Hurdle chucks it into left field trying to double off the runner at second. So the runner on third will score. The runner on second will go to third. Runner on first will go to second. But the runner on second that was on third can try to score by challenging the left fielder's arm. Left fielder is Joe Zed. So Zed's arm is a 4. The runner on second was Soderholm. And Soderholm has a speed of 2. Do they want to challenge that? 2 to a 4. Oh, you got to try to score because there's 2 outs. Okay. So you got to challenge. You got to go because there's 2 outs. Okay. So since there's 2 outs, now there's 2 outs because the out was made. So he's going to challenge. The arm is a 4. The speed's a 2. So go back to the challenging the arm chart. And for people that play this often, I'm sure it's a lot less clunky than what I'm showing it, but I just don't play it enough. But again, we're going to this chart right here. So the arm is a 4, so 14 is the number you got to beat. He's a 2 speed, so these 3 have to equal 12 or better for him to score. And they obviously do, so he does score. So it'll be an unearned run. Actually, 2 unearned runs because the runner on third, well, they may not be unearned by the time because if there's a couple more hits coming along, they might be earned. We never know. So Gar will make it to second base. Scoring is Soderholm and Kessinger. Sox get 2 runs. Sox get 2 runs. And the only runner left on base is on third base. I'm sorry, is on second base. And that being Ralph Gar. So now here's Bloomberg, but 2 runs are in, 2 outs. 2 runs are in. And here is Bloomberg. 690 becomes a 700. And that's going to be a walk. So Bloomberg will draw the base on balls. And that'll put runners at first and second with 2 outs for Chet Lemon. So now Mingori in a little bit of trouble. Hopefully I did it right, Clay. That both runners scored. Hopefully I did that right, and that Gar went from first to second. That's the way I played. All right, so 2 outs, and here is Chet Lemon. 6:06, but it comes to 6:16 with the home team batting. 6:16, there was a pop out to second, and that's going to end the inning. 2 runs for the White Sox. And as it turned out, they're both unearned. But they'll take them. And they lead it by the score of 4-1 now. What did somebody tell me? The real score was 6-1. So, hey, we got a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. All right, so Kravik. Now, Mingori will be tired next inning, so they might go to somebody else in the bullpen for the 6th. We shall see. They might go to Marty Patton. We'll have to wait and see on that. Right now, here's George Brett. Brett, the Royals had their work cut out. That's a 101. That's a redirect to a 301, which is a strikeout. So Brett out on strikes. Just a second strikeout for Kravik. But now they've given Kravik a 4-1 lead to work with. Here's Al Cowan. 6:55 for Al Cowans. And that's going to be a 6-3 ground out for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. And Joe Zed, the batter. Well, Tabby, I wish you could see this. Tabby is just crashed. Listen, I'm going to take a picture of this real quick and show it later on. I can't move the webcam over, but I really want to take this picture. Of course, I say that and it starts moving. But Hopefully that's a decent picture. There we go. While we're playing, that's what Tabby's doing. She's sitting there, almost using this little bin as a pillow. But there she can see we got her fur all skinned up, so she ain't liking that. But she'll get over it, I'm sure. I'm sure she will get over it. So anyway, Zed is up. That's true, Justin. .652, and that's going to be a 5-3 ground out to end the inning. Inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. That didn't take long. Ready to shut down inning, as they call it. And now Mingori, who is tired, he will start the inning, but Marty Patton is loose and ready in the bullpen. Let's see how long Mingori can go. Yes, I am scoring the game, Jeremiah. Got it right here. I am scoring the game. Right here. It is 4-1, bottom of the 6th. That is a 252. Brazil is a lefty. 252 is going to be a redirect to a 592. That's a fly to right field. But with the blue 2, that should be very easy for the right fielder, Al Cowens. And it is. It's just a simple fly to right for 1 away. So Brazil flies to right, 1 down. Here's Naharodny. Yes, as you should be, Brian B. Absolutely. But don't corner around your score sheets, whatever you do. Don't drink that Kool-Aid. 422. Naharodny against the lefty. 422 is a single to center field. Bill Naharodny with a single. That'll bring up Kessinger now. With Mingori being tired, that will add 10 to the deep drives. But they might take the chance and let him pitch to Kessinger. But this is probably it because Soderholm is next, and they got Patton ready for the right-handed. 385, and that's going to be a fly to left field for out number 2. Now, do they take the chance and let him pitch to Soderholm and try to get 2 innings out of him? I think they will. They'd rather have Patton start the 7th, so they're going to take a chance. 188, and that's a bloop single to first base with 2 outs. That's going to move the runner to third, so first and third. And now he's really in a bind. You do have a lefty-on-lefty matchup, but man, now he's going to add 20 to the ballpark effects. But they're going to give Mingori one more chance, lefty-on-lefty, to try to get Ralph Garr. 480 against the lefty is a fly ball to center field, and that's going to end the inning. So that's going to do it for Mingori. He is going to go. Mingori is going to go 2 innings after Gale went 4+. And at the end of 6, it's still 4-1 Sox. One thing I forgot to do was to finish up the totals on Rich Gale. Well, Mingori is gone, so we're done with him. It will be Marty Patton in the 7th inning. But let's see here. For Mingori, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, did walk a man, and struck out a man. For Gale, in his 4 innings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got him for 8 hits he allowed. 4 runs, 2 of them earned. And walks and strikeouts. I have him for one lone strikeout. He struck out Naharadi, and that was it. And he walked Bloomberg. I've got him for one walk and one strikeout. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to the top of the seventh, and it'll be Darrell Porter leading things off, followed by White and Hurdle. Bench, most except for Amos Otis and Jerry Terrell, the rest of the bench is left-handed. We have two Washingtons in this game. We got Claudell Washington for the Sox and UL with the toothpick for what he will switch hitter. Porter 141. That's a strikeout, straight up strikeout for Kraybeck. And there's one away. And that sends up Frank White. 294. Kraybeck against a righty. That's a deep drive to left for Frank White. His power is a 4. Deep drive to left. Add these two dice to 4. 4 plus 12, 16. Just a deep fly to left, and that's it. No base hit, no home run, no nothing. Just a deep fly to left for out number 2. So not all deep drives are created equal. Just because it's a deep drive doesn't mean your pitcher's in trouble. You can still get outs there. It's Hurdle. 338 for Hurdle, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Kraybeck goes 7 strong, and this was his fatigue inning, but he gave up nothing, so he's still good to go. They might pitch him another inning. And Marty Patton, where are you? There he is. Marty Patton will come on and pitch the 7th inning for the Royals. Even though he has 3 lefties coming up, they're just going to go with that in a 4-1 game. But we are at the 7th inning stretch. And obviously, you know what that means. It means it's time to stand and stretch and do take me out to the ball game. Hello, Scooty. For some reason, something is messing up my YouTube, and I don't know what it's doing here. I don't know why it's doing that on my phone. It's not connecting to anything, so we may not have a 7th inning stretch. The way this is going, I guess you'll have to just pretend it happened. I'm not getting a thing out of this. It's just a circle in the sand waiting for something to come on my phone. So I don't think we're going to get anything here. Don't see anything coming up. In the meantime, Tabby's just going to sit that one out and take a nap. That's what she's doing right now. She's taking a nap. So, anyway, no 7th inning stretch music because of my technical difficulties. So, we don't have Steve Tower and his ukulele, so I'm out of luck there too. So, we'll just have to drive on. I'd like to be able to bring up Nancy Faust, but my phone's not. It's just circling. It's just doing all circles. Nothing's going on. So, can't catch a break. I don't know what's going on my phone. Just for some reason, not picking up anything. I don't know why. No idea. I'm just glad I don't have circles in the sand here. We don't need that. All right, so Claudel Washington will start the bottom of the seventh against new pitcher Marty Patton. .637 becomes .647, and that's a 4-3 ground out, one away. So Marty Patton, that leaves Hrabowski and Bird in the bullpen for the Royals. So the .637 ends up being a 3-1 ground out. I'm sorry, .647 ends up being a 4-3 ground out. So you got to add the 10. So one away, and here is George Orta. .284, and that's a split against the lefty. .284 is a deep drive to right field. Power rating of Orta is a 5. It's a deep drive to right field. 5 plus the 16 is a 21, and that is gone. George Orta crashes a home run on the deep drive. That's a total of 16. His power is a 5, makes it a 21, and that is long, and that is gone. Home run, George Orta, or Jorge Orta, if you prefer. George Orta, home run, makes it 5-1. And remember, somebody told me it was a 6-1 real life score, so we're narrowly getting to that. It's now 5-1 rather. After the deep drive, and here is Bloomberg. That's 600, becomes 610, and that's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout for Bloomberg, 2 down, and that brings up Chet Lemon. That's a 102, redirect to a 302, which is a strikeout to end the inning. But the home run off of the bat of George Orta gives the White Sox now a 5-1 lead after 7. Kravik's going to come back out. He's got a 5-1 lead. Sox do have bullpen activity. They do have right-hander. Let's look and see who's down there. They do have right-hander Jim Willoughby, former Red Sox. Jim Willoughby, 1-6 with 13 saves. He is loosing in the bullpen for the Sox. But Kravik's going to go as long as he can. Going to face the number 9 hitter, Willie Wilson. Actually, they will pinch hit for Wilson. He's a .217 hitter. And we're past the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is allowed. And they will go with Amos Otis. Otis, my man, will come in and pinch hit. Stay in the game, play center field for the Royals. So Amos Otis will take over, pinch hitting, and stay in the game, play center field. Top of the 8th, rather, 5-1 White Sox. Royals trying to get something going. Got to push. 421 against a left-hander. 421 is a walk. So good start there for Amos Otis. A pinch hit walk. Not sexy, but can get the job done. And now that will send up Freddie Patek. That's a 144, and that's going to be a strikeout. Kravik with another strikeout. One away, rather, and Hal McRae, the batter. .650. Now he is tired. He's given up a hit, so that becomes .660. .660 is going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice. So that will retire Otis. And McRae takes over as the runner at second now with 2 outs for George Brett. .207, and that is a redirect to a .407. And a .407 is a deep fly to center to end the inning. So Kravik's going to make it 8 innings, and I think they'll cap him at the 8 innings. That will do it for Kravik. He's going to go 8 innings. Definitely qualifies for the win to get Kravik's totals before we move on. We gave up 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got him for a 4-hitter, just the 1 run. He walked a couple. 1, 2, 3. Looks like he walked 3. Struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Struck out 5. So the totals I have on Kravik: 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, a run, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And coming in to pitch the 9th inning, most likely will still end up being Willoughby because it's not a save situation. So there's no reason to bring anybody else. So Willoughby will be your new pitcher in the top of the 9th. But right now the Royals need to get the bottom of the 8th done. Patton's still in there. They'll be facing Brazil, Naharodny, and Kessinger. 5-1 Sox. 161, and that's going to be a fly to left field. 1 down. So if the Sox don't score here, we'll miss that 6-1 real score, at least by 1 run. But still pretty darn close. Here's Naharodny. 102, redirect to a 3-0-2, which is a strikeout. 2 down. And that brings up Kessinger. 236 against a switch hitter batting left. 236 is a redirect to a 596. That's a fly ball to right field for Cowens. And on a 596, it's a deep fly to right, but he'll make the catch. And that's going to end the inning. So the Sox don't get their 6th run. They stay at 5. Marty Patton pitches 2 shutout frames. 2 innings and gives up 1 run, the homer, to Orta. But nothing else. That's the only hit he gave up in 2 innings. No walks, 3 strikeouts. So we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Royals. And they'll be facing Jim Willoughby. And Willoughby will be facing. Well, this set here is a printed set, World's Worst. But I do have a PDF 67 set that I did print using those pre-perforated cards off Amazon. That worked very, very well. Because I only needed the American League in 67 because that's all I really cared about was the American League. So that's why I did it. But I wanted a printed set, and they're very, very nice. So. All right, so here is Al Cowens. It'll be Cowens, a pinch hitter for Zed. They're going to bring in somebody else for Zed. Probably Steve Braun, but it could be Lecoq as well. Could be Lecoq in the center square, possibly. Check Braun's numbers as well. Braun's 263, Lecoq's 298. So Pete Lecoq will come in and pinch hit for Zed. And if they somehow manage to tie the game, they would probably bring in Braun to play left. But right now it's going to be Cowens and Lecoq, then Porter due up. So Zed went 1 for 3. And he is going to be relieved of his duties further by Pete Lecoq. He is the secret square. So right now, here's Al Cowens against Willoughby. 632. 6-3-2 is a fly to center, and that's 1 away. 1 down. And thought just hit me here. Now, Clay, not to put you on the spot whatsoever, just a wish list here. But if this game ever made it to PC, I would, because then would do all the calculations for me. That would be a wonderful thing. I know you had the baseball mogul, but this would really be something. All right, that's just an aside. Didn't mean to put you on the spot or anything like that. Or definitely not complaining. All right, here's Lecoq, the pinch hitter. 299 And that's going to be against a left-hander. That's a deep drive to right field. Lecoq's power rating is a 4. 4. Deep drive to right field. Lecoq's a 4 power rating. And that's a 12. Total of 16 is, oh, he missed it by 1. A 17 would have been a home run, but a 16 is only a deep drive to right. His power is a 4. That's a 12. 16 doesn't quite make it. It's just a deep drive to right for out number 2. So 2 down. And last chance is Darryl Porter for the Royals. 104, and that's a redirect to a 304, which is a strikeout to end the ball game. Willoughby pitches 1 inning, gives up nothing with the strikeout. And the White Sox defeat the Royals by the score of 5-1. And I believe Captain said the real score was 6-1. I didn't look it up. I think he looked it up, said it was 6-1. So we're pretty darn close there. Not too bad. How about that, Mr. World's Worst? You see that? Free shipping in the coupon code. Take advantage of that. Oh, I didn't realize that Father's Day was still that percentage thing was still going on. But anyway, let's do the totals and get these things completed. For the Royals, they get 1 lonesome run. They do it on 4 hits. No errors. There were no errors for either team. How many did they leave on base? Not that many, really, because they didn't have many people on base. They left 2 on in the second, 1 on here in the third, 1 in the fourth. 5. They just have 5 runners left on base. That's it. For Chicago, 5 runs. They did it on 12 hits, no errors. And they left on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 left on. There were 3 double plays. That took away some of the left on bases. But there you go. That's the line score. Here is my very not so pretty score sheet. But winning pitcher Ken Kravick, losing pitcher Rich Gale, and player of the game, I guess we have to give it to Kravick. He went 8 innings with just 1 run. So I know Soderholm went 3 for 3, but to me, holding this Royal lineup down to 1 run through 8 innings gives him the player of the game. So that concludes our presentation here in Comiskey Park next Saturday. Get that schedule for you. See if we're back in the National League. I think we might be, but we'll double check it. Scroll down, it'll be the June 24th game. And June 24th, the actual game was in Dodger Stadium. We'll be Cincinnati Reds and the Los Angeles Dodgers from Dodger Stadium. That'll be the NBC game of the week. The alternate game was the Braves at the Giants. But we're doing the main game with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. So from Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles, it'll be the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. That will be next Saturday at noon, the NBC game of the week. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation of season ticket baseball. 5-1 was your final for the White Sox. I do appreciate all the help, Clay, and on the rules, and Captain, and all the others out there that chimed in and were able to help me sharpen up the rules. Like I said, I just got to play this game more, that's all. After I do the NBC game of the week, I'll probably do some sort of a season replay with the 78 set, maybe a Ron Guidry replay or something like that, so I can keep stats throughout, something that's tangible. So I may do something like that. I may do something like that once this is over. So just to keep my skills up on this game, because it's a really, really unique game. It offers a lot of things other games don't offer. So very, very interesting the way everything is put into place. It definitely adds something to my collection for sure. And it's a nice complement to Stratomatic and Inside Pitch. So I'm happy to have these 3 games in the rotation. So Tabby would say goodbye, but I think she's snoozing right now, so we won't disturb her there. But again, next Saturday, noon Eastern, it'll be the Dodgers and the Reds from Chavez Ravine. in Los Angeles. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.